Before we begin, close your eyes. Take a breath. Imagine a land where mountains touch the sky, where rivers shine in the sun, where people once lived in peace, before the world came too close. This land is called Kashmir. It is beautiful, but broken, strong, but silent. For more than 70 years, Kashmir has been caught between two nations, India and Pakistan. Both want it. Both fight for it. But the people of Kashmir are still waiting. Waiting to be heard. Waiting to choose. Waiting for peace. This is not just a story about politics. It is a story about people. Mothers, sons, farmers, students. It is about pain and hope, guns and dreams, borders and voices. So come with me into the mountains, into the villages, into the hearts of those who live between war and peace. This is their story. This is Kashmir. Chapter 1. A Beautiful Land in the Mountains. Close your eyes. Now listen. Imagine a place where the mountains touch the sky, where the air is cold but fresh, where rivers run like silver threads through green valleys and fields of flowers. This is Kashmir, a beautiful land, high in the Himalayas, a land of snow and sun, of silence and song, a land full of life and stories. People here wake up to the sound of birds. They drink warm tea in the early morning light. Children laugh on their way to school. Old men sit together and talk about the past. Women wear bright colors, their scarves dancing in the wind. The seasons here are like magic. In spring, pink and white blossoms cover the trees. In summer, the lakes shine like mirrors. In autumn, the leaves fall like golden rain. And in winter, the world turns white, quiet, still, cold, and beautiful. Farms grow apples. Rice fields shine green in the sun. Shepherds walk with sheep through the hills. Markets are full of spices, nuts, and silk. Tourists once came from far away, just to see the mountains, to feel the peace. Yes, peace. Kashmir is not just a place on a map. It is a home, a heart, a dream for many. But listen closely now. Beneath the beauty, there is something else. A shadow, a silence, a story, too deep for the wind to carry. Because Kashmir is more than just mountains and flowers. It is also a land between two nations, India and Pakistan. Two powerful countries, two flags, two armies, and in the middle, Kashmir. For more than 70 years, this land has not been free. It has been watched, divided, fought over. People here live between hope and fear, between the past and a future they cannot see. Some days, the streets are quiet. Life goes on. Children play. Shops open. There is laughter, music, prayer. But other days, the sky is not blue. It is full of smoke, of helicopters, of fear. Soldiers walk the roads. Guns hang on their shoulders. They check IDs. They ask questions. People keep their heads down. They speak in whispers. In many homes, there are pictures on the wall. photos of fathers, of sons who never came back. Some were taken, some disappeared, some died without goodbye. Mothers wait. They wait by the door. They wait by the phone. They wait in silence. Because in Kashmir, silence says many things, but still, the people stay, they plant flowers, they teach their children, they pray for peace, again and again. They do not stop loving their land, their mountains, their rivers, their stories. One day, they say, one day, this land will be free to breathe again. And so, as the sun sets over the hills, as the stars shine in the cold sky, Kashmir sleeps. But the dreams stay awake. Dreams of freedom, dreams of peace, dreams of a day when borders disappear, and children no longer hear the sound of war, only the sound of water, of wind, of life. This is the beginning of the story, of a land caught between nations, of people who live and wait and hope. Kashmir, a beautiful land in the mountains, a land with a broken heart, but a heart that still beats. Chapter 2. The Partition of 1947. The year was 1947. The world had just come out of a great war, and in South Asia, another kind of war was beginning. For many years, India had lived under British rule. But now, the British were leaving. They packed their flags, they handed over power, and they left behind a broken land. India was not one country anymore. It became two. India for mostly Hindus, Pakistan for mostly Muslims. That was the plan. But the plan brought pain. Millions of people had to move. A Hindu family in Pakistan had to go to India. A Muslim family in India had to go to Pakistan. People left their homes, their farms, their friends. Trains were full, roads were full, hearts were full of fear. And then came the blood. Neighbors turned on neighbors. Angry mobs filled the streets. Houses burned. Children cried. Women screamed. Old men prayed. Some tried to hide. Some tried to run. But there was no place to go. In just a few months, over 1 million people died. Millions more were lost, torn from their homes, torn from their families. This was the partition. A line was drawn on a map. But that line cut through villages, through fields, through people's hearts. And in the middle of this storm was Kashmir, a land with a Muslim majority, but ruled by a Hindu king, Maharaja Hari Singh. He didn't want to join India. He didn't want to join Pakistan. He wanted to stay independent. But he waited and waited. And while he waited, the fire grew closer. Fighters from Pakistan crossed into Kashmir. They wanted to take the land. They believed Kashmir belonged to Pakistan because most people there were Muslim. The king was afraid. He called India for help. India said, "We will help, but only if you join us." And so, the king signed a paper, a legal agreement. Kashmir would become part of India. Indian soldiers arrived. They pushed back the fighters, but it was too late. The war had already begun. The first war for Kashmir. It was a war of bullets, of fire, of fear. The people of Kashmir had no choice, no vote, no voice. They were trapped between two nations. Both wanted the land, but who wanted the people? The United Nations tried to help. They said, "Let the people choose. Hold a vote." But the vote never came. Instead, a line was drawn again, a ceasefire line. India controlled one part, Pakistan controlled another. Kashmir was divided, not by rivers or mountains, but by armies, by pain, by silence. And this silence still lives today. What began in 1947 did not end. It became a long conflict, a deep wound. For Kashmir, the partition was not just history. It was the beginning of everything that followed. A lost chance, a broken promise, a war that never truly ended. And so, Kashmir waits, still. Chapter 3, The First War for Kashmir. The year is still 1947. But now, the air is different. There is fear, there is smoke, there is war. After the king of Kashmir chose to join India, Pakistan became angry. They believed Kashmir should be part of Pakistan, because most people there were Muslim. And so, fighters crossed the mountains, from Pakistan into Kashmir. They called themselves freedom fighters. They said they came to protect the people. But soon, the fighting grew wild. Villages were attacked. Homes were burned. Women were taken. Children cried for their mothers. The king was afraid. He called India again. And this time, India sent soldiers. Many soldiers. They flew in by plane, with guns and orders. Now, the Valley of Kashmir was a battlefield. The rivers saw blood. The mountains heard screams. The fields turned red. People ran. They left everything behind. Their farms, their shops, even their memories. Some ran north, some south, but no road was safe. No door was strong. No heart was ready. Brothers were lost. Fathers disappeared. Friends became enemies. In the middle of it all, the people of Kashmir asked, "Why is this happening to us?" But no one answered. India and Pakistan kept fighting. Each day, the fire grew. Each day, the pain deepened. And far away, the world watched. The United Nations, the new voice of peace, spoke. They said, "Stop the war." They said, "Talk, not fight." They said, "Let the people of Kashmir choose." So, after months of blood and fire, India and Pakistan agreed. They stopped the war. They called it a ceasefire. But peace did not come. A line was drawn. Not a line on a map, but a line through the land. Through rivers, through hills, through homes. One side of Kashmir stayed with India. The other side went to Pakistan. They called it the line of control. But that line, it did not heal anything. It did not bring peace. It did not bring answers. Because the people of Kashmir still had no voice, no vote, no choice. They were divided, not just by land, but by fear. A family on one side could not cross to see a brother on the other. A mother could not visit her son's grave. A teacher could not go back to her school. Everything changed, forever. And yet, the mountains stood silent. The rivers kept flowing. The snow kept falling. But the people of Kashmir, they knew something was broken. Something was lost. This was the first war for Kashmir, but it would not be the last. Chapter 4. A region divided by borders. The war is over, but the pain is not. Kashmir, the beautiful land of rivers and mountains, is now split in two. India controls the south and east. Pakistan controls the north and west. Both countries say, Kashmir belongs to us. Both wave their flags. Both build their armies. Both tell their people, we are right. But what about the people in Kashmir? They did not draw the lines. They did not ask for war. They did not choose sides. And yet, their lives are changed forever. A simple road now ends at a checkpoint. A river now flows between two armies. A village now lies in silence, divided by fences and fear. Families once lived together. Now they live on opposite sides. A brother in Indian Kashmir, a sister in Pakistani Kashmir. They can't visit. They can't write. They can only wonder. Are you still alive? The line of control. That's what they call it. A line guarded by guns, by soldiers in bunkers, by watchtowers and wire. On one side, the Indian flag. On the other, the Pakistani flag. And in the middle, Kashmir's broken heart. There is no war now, but there is no peace either. The sound of bombs is gone. But now there is another sound. Silence. A deep, heavy silence. The kind that hides pain. The kind that holds fear. People live in that silence. They wake up, go to work, send their children to school. But always, they look over their shoulder. They speak in whispers. They wait for something. They don't know what. Some hope, some dream, some pray. Others have given up. Because when a border cuts through your land, it also cuts through your soul. In the north and west, life is different. In the south and east, life is different. But the fear, that is the same. Fear of being watched. Fear of being taken. Fear of another war. Every soldier, every gun, every checkpoint is a reminder that the past is not finished, that the future is still uncertain. And so, Kashmir waits. It waits in the mountains. It waits in the valleys. It waits in the eyes of children who do not understand borders, but feel them every day. This is not just a line on a map. It is a line across hearts, across homes, across hope, a region divided by power, by politics, by fear. But still, the people live. They plant their seeds. They tell their stories. They light small lamps in the darkness. Because, even in silence, a voice can survive. Chapter 5. Life in Indian-controlled Kashmir. In the south and east of Kashmir, where India controls the land, life is not easy. The mountains are still beautiful. The rivers still flow. The snow still falls in winter. But something else is here too. Soldiers everywhere. On the streets, on rooftops, behind walls, in schools, in fields, in markets. Young men with guns, their eyes watching, their boots heavy on the ground. People walk quietly. They do not look up. They move fast, then go home and lock the door. Sometimes there is a curfew. You must stay inside, the loudspeaker says. Do not open your door. Do not ask why. Shops close. Buses stop. A city full of people becomes silent, like a ghost town. And when the curfew ends, there are protests. Young people fill the streets. They shout. They cry. They throw stones. They hold signs. Give us freedom. This is our land. Tear gas fills the air. Rubber bullets hit legs, arms, faces. Sometimes real bullets. And when the shouting ends, there is only smoke and pain. Many schools are closed. Some are damaged. Others are too dangerous. Parents keep children at home. Books stay shut. Desks stay empty. Dreams grow quiet. And the youth, they begin to ask hard questions. Why can't we speak? Why do they treat us like this? What did we do wrong? Some say, we are not Indian. We are not Pakistani. We are just Kashmiri. Others are too afraid to speak at all. They stay silent, not because they have nothing to say, but because they fear who might hear. At night, families gather in one room. They drink tea. They listen to the radio. They talk in whispers. And sometimes they cry. A knock at the door in the middle of the night can mean someone is taken. A father, a brother, a son, maybe for a few hours, maybe forever. People learn not to ask questions, not to protest, not to be seen. But still, the heart wants more. Kashmiri youth are smart. They want to study, to travel, to build, to live. But they carry a heavy weight. The weight of checkpoints, of fear, of anger. That grows inside. Some join protests. Some join armed groups. Some disappear into the mountains. Some write poems with quiet rage. A few hold on to hope. They speak of peace, of justice, of a better tomorrow. But that tomorrow feels far away. And so, every day, they wake up, they look out the window, They check the news. They wonder, what will happen today? And at night, they dream. Sometimes of freedom, sometimes of escape, sometimes just of a normal life. To walk in peace, to go to school, to feel safe. That would be enough. Chapter 6. Voices from Pakistan-administered Kashmir. Across the border, on the other side of the line of control, there is another part of Kashmir. This land is under Pakistan's control. The mountains are just as high. The rivers still run deep. The people still dream. Here, life is quieter. There are fewer soldiers in the streets, no daily protests, no tear gas, no loud gunfire in the night. But that does not mean life is easy. There is less violence, but also less voice. People speak softly. They do not question. They do not complain, because in silence, they have learned to survive. There are problems here. Big ones. No jobs, no roads, no strong schools. Young people want more. They want to learn. They want to work. They want to build something better. But when they look around, they see broken bridges, empty offices, old promises, not kept. And still, they wait. They wait for new books, for clean water, for internet that works, for the sound of machines building, not breaking. Many feel forgotten, not just by their leaders, but by the world. Does anyone know we are here? Does anyone care? They hear about protests on the Indian side. They see the cameras, the reports, the voices shouting in the streets. But in Pakistan-administered Kashmir, it is quiet. Too quiet. There are no headlines, no big speeches, no news crews asking questions. Just a soft wind and people waiting. A farmer walks for hours because the road is broken. A student studies by candlelight because the lights go out. A girl dreams of becoming a doctor. But the school has no teachers, no science lab, no chance. And still, they smile. They laugh with neighbors. They drink tea by the fire. They hope. Because hope is all they have. But hope, too, is tired. Will we always be like this? Will we ever get to choose our future? Will the world hear us, too? The people hear. They do not ask for much, just a voice, a path forward, a life with dignity. Kashmir is not just about war or politics. It is about people, real people, on both sides of the border. People who want the same things: peace, education, a safe home, a future. So they keep going. They keep planting seeds. They keep sending children to school. They keep looking up at the mountains and praying that one day the world will look back. Chapter 7. Youth, Fear, and Protest. In the heart of Kashmir, a new voice is rising. It is not the voice of old leaders, or foreign diplomats, or men in uniforms. It is the voice of the young. Teenagers, students, boys and girls, born into conflict, raised in fear. They have grown up hearing the sound of helicopters, not birds, the sound of boots, not music, the sound of shouting, not laughter. They have questions, many questions. Why are there soldiers outside my school? Why is there a gun where there should be a book? Why is my best friend in prison? No one gives answers. Only silence. Only fear. And so, they shout. They go into the streets, with stones in their hands, with fire in their hearts. They do not have guns. They do not have power. But they have something else. Anger, courage, a dream. They shout, Azadi, freedom! They cry, we are not your enemy. We are not your land. We are people. Some wear masks to hide their faces, to protect their families, to protect their future. But not all of them come home. Bullets don't ask questions. Tear gas doesn't care about age. Prison cells do not make space for dreams. And at home, mothers wait, their hearts pounding, their eyes on the door. Hours pass, no phone call, no knock, just silence. Some sons return, hurt. Some do not return at all. Fathers grow quiet. Sisters grow afraid. The whole family holds its breath. Because in Kashmir, to protest is to risk everything. But still, the youth do not stop. They write poems. They paint on walls. They post their stories online until the internet is cut. They fight not with guns, but with questions, with words, with hope. But hope, too, can be dangerous. Some are taken in the night. Some disappear for weeks. Some are never seen again. And still, more rise. Because the youth of Kashmir have lived with fear. Now, they want to live with freedom. They don't want war. They don't want hate. They just want to breathe, to study, to dance, to live. But for now, they protest, they cry, they wait. And in the quiet corners of their minds, a small voice whispers, one day, we will be free. Chapter 8. The Role of China. When people think of Kashmir, they often think of India and Pakistan. Two countries, two sides, one conflict. But there is a third player, a silent one, a powerful one, China. Yes, China also controls a part of Kashmir, a cold, high land, where the mountains touch the sky. Few people live there, but many eyes are watching, because in this corner of the world, 3 nations meet. India, Pakistan, China, and the air is heavy with tension. There are soldiers standing in the snow, watching, waiting. Waiting for what? No one knows. Sometimes a word is enough to start a fight. Sometimes a road or a bridge. becomes the reason for war. China and India have fought here before, not with big armies, not with tanks, but with fists and rocks and cold silence. In 2020, high in the Himalayas, Indian and Chinese soldiers clashed. No bullets, no guns, just hands and pain. Men pushed each other into freezing rivers. Many died. No war was declared, but the message was clear. This land matters. Even the ice matters. Because Kashmir is not just about Kashmir anymore. It is not just a local story. It is a global game. A game of power, of control, of borders drawn in the sky. China builds roads. China builds camps. India answers with soldiers, with maps, with warnings. Pakistan watches. The world watches. And Kashmir? Kashmir waits, caught between giants. In the middle of this cold, high land are the people, still hoping, still dreaming, still unheard. 3 countries, 3 flags, 3 armies, but no peace. Kashmir is no longer a quiet valley. It is now a stage, a symbol, a story the whole world is watching. And the question grows louder. Who really controls Kashmir? And more importantly, who listens to its people? Chapter 9. Hope for peace? Sometimes there is hope. Not every day, not every year, but sometimes. A small light shines in the dark. Leaders meet. They smile. They shake hands. They say, "We want peace." They sit at long tables. They talk about trade, about borders, about people. They sign papers. They take photos. The world watches. And for a moment, Kashmir breathes. The borders open, just a little. Families meet after many years. A mother crosses to see her daughter. 2 brothers hug for the first time in decades. Tears fall. Smiles return. Trucks carry apples, spices, clothes, ideas. Children ask, "Is the war over now?" People plant flowers again. They clean the graves. They repaint their shops. It feels like the beginning of something better. But peace is fragile, like thin glass, like a candle in the wind. It only takes one bullet, one bomb, one mistake, and everything breaks. A soldier is killed. A protest turns violent. A bomb explodes. And just like that, the border closes. The phones stop working. The roads are blocked. Hope is pushed back, behind walls, behind fear. And the people, they wait again. They say, "Why does peace always leave so soon? Why do we always go back to the same pain?" Some stop believing. Some say peace is just a dream, a sweet lie. But others still hope. They light candles in their homes. They teach their children not to hate. They hold on to every small moment of peace, as if it is gold, because peace may be fragile, but it is beautiful, And it is possible. Not just for leaders, not just for maps, but for the people of Kashmir, for the mothers, the children, the students, the farmers, the ones who know the true cost of war and the true meaning of peace. So they hope, quietly, carefully, but with love. Because even in a land of conflict, peace can grow if we protect it, if we listen, if we believe. Chapter 10. Kashmir's Future. Who decides? The story is not finished. We have seen the beauty, the mountains, the rivers, the people. We have heard the cries of mothers, of children, of the young who want answers. We have walked through war, through silence, through fear. And now, we ask the hardest question. What will happen to Kashmir? Will the future bring peace? Or more soldiers? More protests? More pain? Will the borders open? Will families be together again? Will young people dream and build and breathe? Or will the lines on the map grow thicker? Will guns speak louder than people? No one knows. Because this story is still being written. Many voices want to decide. India says, it is our land. Pakistan says, no, it belongs to us. China watches quietly. Leaders talk. Maps change. Flags rise and fall. But in all these loud voices, one voice is missing. The voice of Kashmir's people. The men and women who live there, who have buried loved ones, who have lost homes, who have waited for decades. The children who never knew a day without soldiers, who ask, why is my land a fight? Why is my voice so small? What about them? Who listens to them? Who asks what they want? Will they vote? Will they choose their future? Will they ever be heard? These are questions that remain unanswered, unfinished, unfolding. But one truth is clear. The people of Kashmir deserve a voice, not tomorrow, not in the future. Now, they deserve to speak, to dream, to live without fear, to write the end of their own story. Because peace is not a gift from above. It is something we build together, with respect, with courage, with listening. And maybe, one day, this land of beauty and pain will be known not for its conflict, but for its healing. That day has not come yet, but it can. And when it does, the mountains will still be there, the rivers will still flow, and the people of Kashmir will finally be free to decide.